The big mystery, a double homicide-suicide, that's how police are ruling the bizarre and tragic deaths of pro wrestler Chris Benoit and his family. Police say the wrestling star murdered his wife and then his 7-year-old son before killing himself in their home, all over a period of 3 days.
Evidence in the home leads us to believe that Mr. Benoit had sometime, possibly Friday, had murdered his wife, Nancy, asphyxiation. Sometime shortly after that, on into early part of the weekend, the same for his son, Daniel. And then maybe later on, Saturday evening, sometime early Sunday, had committed suicide by hanging himself in the basement area.
Among other findings in the home, prescription steroids and Bibles placed near the victims' bodies. Benoit canceled a wrestling appearance for, quote, personal reasons just 1 day before the bodies were found. His wrestling family, the WWE, asked authorities to check on Benoit after he sent some, quote, curious text messages to a co-worker. So what made this wrestling star snap? With me now live from Fayette County, Ohio, District Attorney Scott Ballard and WrestlingObserver.com editor Dave Meltzer. He's known Chris Benoit personally for more than 20 years. If I can go to the DA Ballard first, do you have any idea from the evidence you found in the house what happened and why Benoit did what he did?
As to why he did what he did, I can't imagine. Certainly with regard to a 7-year-old boy. As to what happened, it appears that first he strangled his wife. There's bruising on her back that suggests that a knee was placed on the back while she lay face down on the floor. There's bruising on her front that suggests that her body was crushed against the floor. And there was a cable wrapped around her neck. She had her hands bound and her legs bound. With regard to the son, he was found lying face down on his own bed in his bedroom, apparently also having been strangled.
And Benoit himself?
He was in the basement in a weight room. The cable to a weight machine was wrapped around his neck. First, I think a cloth had been wrapped around his neck, and then the cable, so that when you let go of the cable, the weights would lift up on the pulley and choked and actually strangled him.
And this took place over 3 days? How do you know that?
Well, the medical examiner gave us the best evidence that we have of that, and according to the medical examiner, the wife probably died sometime on Friday, the little boy early Saturday, and the wrestler late Saturday, maybe early Sunday morning.
Dave, let me turn to you. You've known him 20 years. Any idea why?
Well, there's no explanation that, and I think everyone in wrestling is just completely conflicted and confused because Chris was, he was well liked, he was well respected, and there's no explanation. I mean, this thing it feels like it's a nightmare. I can't give an explanation. Who could give any kind of an explanation for this?
Let me put a sharp point on it then. The WWE murder mystery, was it roid rage?
I just don't think that you can blame steroids as the simplistic answer. I mean, there's whatever it is. I mean,
he's clearly taking them, right?
I would say that they found steroids in the house, and he's clearly taken them, and he's probably taken them for 20 years. I don't think that probably helped the situation, but to say he took steroids and then did this, there's got to be far more to it than just that.
Okay,
I mean,
but Chris, his wife complained about his, that she was worried about his violent outbursts.
Yeah, in 2003 and probably at other times. And you know, I don't think too many people were really aware of that. And a lot of stuff in the last couple of days has come as a complete shock to everyone pretty much, because he was a kind of a private person. He had a couple of close friends, but he had, you know, everyone liked him, and he was polite, and he wasn't, you know, I mean, you say what's the type, but he's the farthest thing from the type you would think. Other than, yeah, but you're right though that there was that evidence of you know, she had filed a complaint against him before.
Scott, was there any history of this on the records of your department, that his wife had called, complained, that domestic disturbances, any of the stuff that sort of forms a trail of crumbs to this day?
The only thing that I know about, and I didn't know about this until today, is the temporary protective order that she sought in 2003 and then later dismissed.
Dave, before I run out of time, do you know anything about the curious text messages that caused the WWE people to call and ask someone to go check at the house?
As best I can tell, there was a wrestler, Chavo Guerrero, who I think had stayed with Chris recently. And I think that it was certain things of, I don't know the nature of exactly what was in the messages, but it was something along the lines of, take care of, bank accounts or something, or something about the dogs. But it was some things that obviously unnerved him. And the other thing is when he missed the shows, he's not the kind of guy who was going to miss shows.
Dave Meltzer, Scott Ballard, thanks to both of you. We'll see how this works out. The big update, it was a